Before the first race of his debut season even began, Kimi Antonelli was already carrying more expectation than most rookies ever face. He wasn't just the newest young driver on the grid, he was the chosen one. Mercedes didn't simply sign him. They bypassed Formula 3 straight to Formula 2, then straight to F1. That alone made his arrival controversial. Some called it bold, others called it reckless. Everyone was waiting to see if the prodigy was truly ready. But Formula 1 does not bow to hype. It exposes weaknesses brutally, and for Antonelli, the exposure came fast. The season began with flashes of promise. The podium in Canada, several impressive qualifying laps, a few defiant defensive maneuvers. But everything was overshadowed by inconsistency. He was fast, but not complete, capable, but not prepared. And as the championship rolled on, the gap between instinct and execution grew painfully clear. The car itself didn't help. Mid-season, Mercedes introduced a new rear suspension system intended to cure instability. On paper, it was a breakthrough. In reality, it became a trap. Overnight, the car transformed into an unpredictable machine. The rear end wouldn't stay planted. The balance shifted through corners like a moving target. George Russell, with years of F1 muscle memory, adapted through experience. But Antonelli, his natural style, aggressive rotation, late commitment, instinctive throttle application, suddenly clashed with the car's new behavior. Everything he trusted was now a liability. His inputs caused oversteer, his confidence eroded, and his precision faltered. Small mistakes multiplied into larger ones. A lock-up here, a missed apex there, a spin in practice, a costly misjudgment in race trim. Critics rushed in. Too young, too soon. Mercedes made a mistake. It didn't help that his early season points tally stalled completely. The rookie who had been elevated as the next generational talent was now being dissected by pundits, pressured by headlines, and judged by the harshest audience in the world, Formula 1 fans. The cruel irony, Antonelli wasn't failing because of a lack of talent. He was failing because he didn't yet speak the language of Formula 1. He had raw speed, but not the vocabulary of race management. He had instinct, but not mechanical understanding. He had courage, but not yet the refined discipline that separates promising rookies from world-class performers. He wasn't learning how to beat other drivers, he was learning how to survive the sport, and that is where the transformation truly began. The breakthrough, technical and mental. The recovery started with a simple but crucial decision. Mercedes abandoned the experimental rear suspension and reverted the car to its previous specification before the Hungarian Grand Prix. The change stabilized the car instantly. Suddenly, the unpredictable monster he had been wrestling for months became something familiar again, something he could lean on, something he could trust. But the car wasn't the whole story. What really shifted was Antonelli himself. The painful months of struggling with an unstable rear end had forced him to develop a deeper technical awareness. He began understanding the car not just as a machine, but as a living ecosystem of tires, temperature, balance, load, and energy. He started manipulating, not reacting. He studied telemetry with a new seriousness. He absorbed every feedback session, every debrief, every mistake. He became patient, analytical, and calm. When the upgraded car returned to stability, Antonelli wasn't the same rookie. He had been forged. Hungary was the first real proof. He finished in the points, cleanly, confidently, without any chaos or desperation. But more importantly, the points weren't a stroke of luck. They were earned through tire management, strategic discipline, and consistent pace, the three elements he had been struggling with all season. Then came a run that silenced every critic. 7 points finishes in 8 races, a streak of execution that showed a completely different driver. He was no longer the kid who pushed too hard on lap 7. He was no longer the rookie who overheated tires in dirty air or failed to convert strong qualifying into strong race pace. Something fundamental had changed. He was in control. These weren't heroic one-off drives, they were professional drives, the kind that build championships. Antonelli had fused his natural speed with the nuance of Formula 1. The raw talent was still there, but now it was structured, disciplined, and sharpened. He wasn't racing like a teenager anymore. He was racing like a contender. The Brazilian Grand Prix examination. If there was a single moment that captured Antonelli's transformation, it was the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos is unforgiving. It rewards intelligence and exposes weakness. It's a track where you cannot hide behind luck, weather, or setup. It is a track that examines a driver's entire skill set, tire management, adaptability, bravery, and precision. Antonelli had never dominated here before. What made this remarkable was it was Kimi's first time there, but this time something different happened. He delivered the most complete weekend of his career. Second in qualifying, second in the sprint qualifying, second in the sprint race, second in the Grand Prix. And it wasn't because others failed, it was because he rose. The defining moment came in the middle of the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, the most aggressive competitor on the grid, the man who breaks rookies for sport, was hunting him down on fresher tires. The crowd expected the overtake within a lap or two, but Antonelli defended with calm, calculated precision. He placed his car flawlessly, managed the battery deployment to perfection, and protected the inside lines without overdriving. It wasn't luck, it wasn't reckless bravery, it was tactical mastery. For the first time, Antonelli wasn't just fast, He was complete. He wasn't just a prodigy, he was a Formula One driver. And even Russell acknowledged it publicly, admitting he had been off the pace all weekend and that Kimi outperformed him in every session. In the garage, Toto Wolff's expression said everything. The boy who had struggled under pressure was turning into a weapon. Brazil wasn't a surprise, it was a culmination. The code cracked. Every rookie enters Formula One thinking they understand racing. But the sport reveals a harsh truth. F1 is not about driving fast. It's about managing 1,000 invisible forces at once. Most rookies crack under that pressure. A few survive. Almost none transform the pressure into growth. Antonelli did. Toto Wolff summarized it with a rare moment of emotional honesty, saying, "We're seeing the young boy becoming a young man and performing. That was really strong and testament to what's to come." Antonelli's struggles were not signs of weakness. They were the crucible in which he was shaped. The unstable car didn't destroy him. It carved him. The mid-season pressure didn't break him. It matured him. The expectations didn't crush him. They refined him. He has learned how to finish races, how to think like a strategist, how to protect tires, how to defend like a veteran, and how to convert his blistering natural pace into consistent results. The rookie became a racer. The racer became a contender. And the contender became a threat. The code is cracked. The path to 2026 is clear. And the real career of Kimi Antonelli has finally begun. And now the paddock feels it. Team principals watch his onboard footage with unease. Engineers whisper about the margins he finds that shouldn't exist. Veteran drivers glance at the timing sheets a little longer than before. Because Antonelli isn't just improving, he's accelerating, bending the learning curve until it snaps into something new. Each setback has become fuel, each lesson, a weapon, each race, another layer added to a rapidly forming champion's instinct. You can see it in the way he positions the car before a corner, already thinking 2 curves ahead, in how he adapts to wind direction, track evolution, tire degradation, all without flinching. He has begun to read races like a language he was born knowing but only now fully speaking. The garage sees it too, that quiet confidence, that calm on the radio, that tiny pause before he answers, the sign of a mind processing information at frightening speed. This is no longer a prodigy trying to survive Formula One. This is a future world champion learning how to control it. Antonelli now races with the patience of someone who knows his moment is coming. He chooses his battles, crafts his overtakes, understands when to push and when to wait. He no longer needs the perfect car. He extracts perfection from whatever he's given. That is the mark of the greats. Hamilton did it. Alonso did it. Vettel did it. And now the pattern repeats with a new silhouette. What makes him dangerous is not just his speed, but his evolution. Rookies rise fast. Contenders rise steadily. Threats rise quietly, building momentum until the entire grid suddenly realizes they are impossible to ignore. That is the phase Antonelli has entered. The phase where talent becomes inevitability, where potential becomes pressure for everyone else. Mercedes has seen this story before. They know what it looks like when a driver stops learning and starts believing. When a young talent stops seeing the legends as heroes and starts viewing them as targets. This is the beginning of that shift. The beginning of rivalry. The beginning of fear. Antonelli is no longer the kid thrown into a storm. He is the one creating it. The paddock spent months wondering whether he was ready for Formula One. Now the real question is whether Formula One is ready for him. Because once a driver cracks the code, once the chaos slows down and the world suddenly makes sense at 300 km/h, they don't go back. They only go forward. And Antonelli is accelerating toward 2026 with the calm certainty of someone who already sees his future. Not as a possibility, but as destiny. The rookie became a threat, and the threat is becoming a phenomenon. The grid has been warned.